Good evening, you're with Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. The first story that we're focusing on at the moment is the comments that are coming in from the Supreme Court. Extremely disturbing. That's how the Supreme Court today defined the handling of the Kolkata rape and murder case by the Kolkata police. The apex court was hearing the case after taking suo motu cognizance of the crime. Questioning the sequence and timing of legal formalities conducted by the police, Supreme Court's bench said it was very surprising that the post-mortem of the deceased was conducted on August 9th between 6:10 p.m. to 7:10 p.m., much before the registration of case as an unnatural death in complete violation of due process. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for the CBI, told the top court that the most shocking fact is that the FIR was registered at 11:45 p.m. after the postgraduate medic was cremated. The Supreme Court has directed the Kolkata police officer who registered the first entry about the rape and murder to appear in the next hearing and disclose the time of the entry.
One thing, therefore, which is very clear is that the cordoning off and the preservation of the crime scene takes place after the post-mortem report is conducted. This is what the GD entry itself says.
Mr. Sibal,
Yeah.
just tell us from your record at what time the postmortem was performed.
6:10 to 7:10 p.m.
In the evening,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
When you are taking the dead body
Yes.
for the purpose of performing postmortem,
Yes.
is it a case of unnatural death or not? If it is not a case of unnatural death, why do you have to perform the postmortem?
We categorically reaffirm that peaceful protests
Yes.
shall not be disturbed, nor shall peaceful protest shall not be disturbed or disrupted, and the state shall not take any action against those who are protesting against the who are peacefully protesting.
That's correct.
Against the incident which took place at Rajikot Medical College.
The apex court has also questioned why the then principal of the Rajikot College was reappointed after resigning from the post. But even as the hearing was on, Times Now learned that despite the High Court's adverse orders, Sandeep Ghosh continues to enjoy special privileges, and after being sent on long leave, that too only after the High Court orders last night, Ghosh was removed as the CNMC principal. However, sources say that he still continues to be officer on special duty in the Health Ministry. Ironically, Mamata Banerjee is the Health Minister. The question now is, how is the man who faces an SIT probe by the state still holding office in a government department? The BJP continues to question TMC government's own conduct.
The story in Kolkata is not just tragic, it is horrific. It shakes the conscience of any human being. A doctor was brutally assaulted and raped. The jury is still out there whether this is one person or a gang, and whether there was more to the story than just a mere sexual assault. And subsequently, the Honorable Supreme Court of India has suo motu taken cognizance, and some very scathing comments have come from the respected bench of the Honorable Supreme Court during the hearing. Behind anything that is attacking or outraging the modesty of a lady, you have to take action.
All right, the Bengal court has now said yes to a polygraph test soon. A polygraph test will be conducted on Sandeep Ghosh. 5 students also face the polygraph test. This is the Sialda court which is yet to fix the date for the test, which has given this permission. Let's quickly go across to Bhavtosh for more on this. Bhavtosh, very important update coming in as far as the investigation is concerned. A polygraph test that is being allowed now. Are there any further forensic tests for which court permission is being sought?
Well, it's a very important development as far as this case is concerned. In fact, Sandeep Ghosh was called in for questioning by the Central Bureau of Investigation. He's the only person who has been repeatedly questioned by the agency for past 7 days. And just in the evening, Central Bureau of Investigation moved him to the court along with 4 other doctors. These are the doctors who are colleagues of the victim who had dinner with her. And this dinner happened on the intervening night of 8th to 9th August. And at around midnight, this dinner was consumed, and the food was ordered through an online aggregator investigator. The delivery boy statement was first recorded by the Kolkata police and later by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now, one of the witnesses had also said that she in fact saw her sleeping at around 3 in the morning, and because of certain inconsistency in this statement, and also fact that CBI wants to rule out the possibility that they had tutored this statement so that they are repeating the statement again and again, CBI has decided not only to record the statement of Dr. Ghosh after polygraph test, but also want to carry out a polygraph test on all these 4 doctors or colleagues of the victim.
Okay.
And once the permission is given by the court, they will be subjected.
All right, Bhavtosh, we'll come back to you for more updates because there's more updates coming in at this moment. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has written to Prime Minister Modi seeking stringent punishment within 15 days of crime such as rape and murder. Let's go across to Tapas for more on this. Tapas, very, very interesting that Mamata Banerjee is writing a letter to the Prime Minister. The question is that whether this is a diversionary tactic, what really is going on, because we've seen her come out and say that there should be a hanging taking place by Sunday, a few days ago. The big question is that at this point of time, the court is seized with the role of the Kolkata police and the state government in the handling of this particular case, and there are some serious questions emerging.
Well, see, yes, and somehow I have the letter, and letter is echoing only what Abhishek Banerjee have tweeted early this morning today, seeking an intervention of the state government and the union government of India as well, and also requesting the state to exert pressure on the center to come up with some kind of solution, because the number of rape cases are going up. And if I can quote from the Chief Minister's letter, and I quote, according to the available data, it is horrifying to see that almost 90 cases of rapes occur daily throughout the country. This shakes the confidence and conscience of the society and the nation. It is bounden duty of all of us to put an end to it, and so that the woman feels safe and secure. And she have also suggesting for setting up fast-track courts for speedy trial in such case.
Well, big development coming in there, Tapas. A very important letter that's being written by Mamata Banerjee to the Prime Minister. And let me take this across to Hina, who's joining us from the newsroom. Hina, quickly take us through the contents of this particular letter. Mamata Banerjee writing to the Prime Minister and seeking 15 days within which punishment is given in such cases of rape and murder.
Well, that's right. Today, the way questions were raised by the Supreme Court on the lapses by Kolkata police in the investigation. After this is the first reaction we've got from Mamata Banerjee. She's now written to the Prime Minister, and she again has mentioned that, she wishes to bring Prime Minister's attention to the regular and increasing occurrence of rape cases throughout the country. And in many cases, rapes with murder are committed, something that happened in Kolkata too. According to the available data, it is horrifying to see that almost 90 cases of rapes occur daily throughout the country. This shakes the confidence and conscience of the society and the nation. It is bounden duty for all of us to put an end to it so that the women feel safe and secure. Onus clearly now being put on the center, on the Prime Minister. She goes on to say that such serious and sensitive issue needs to be addressed in a comprehensive manner through stringent central legislation prescribing exemplary punishment against the persons involved in such dastardly crimes.
Right.
She also goes on to say setting up a fast-track special courts for speedy trial in such cases should also be considered in the proposed legislation, and to ensure quick justice, trial should preferably be completed within the next 15 days.
All right, thanks so much for that, Hina. A quick update coming in there. In fact, Tapas also, as well as Bhavtosh, like to thank all of you for joining us with those quick updates. Shifting focus now, in fact, let's go across to our guests. We have with us Kanchan Gupta, Senior Advisor in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. Mr. Gupta, let me begin with the latest update coming in. Mamata Banerjee has written a letter to the Prime Minister where she talks about how it is horrifying, according to available data, that almost 90 cases of rape occur daily throughout the country, which shakes the confidence and conscience of the society and nation. And then she goes on further to demand setting up a fast-track courts for speedy trial to ensure quick justice. Trial in such cases should preferably be completed within 15 days. What do you make of this letter, sir?
Well, it's an input from a chief minister, and I'm sure the Prime Minister will pay due attention to it. But let me clarify a few points. I mean, law and order is a state subject. It is not a central subject. Maintaining law and order is the responsibility of the West Bengal government, not the central government. There are states in the country which have enacted special laws to deal with the crime of rape and sexual offense, especially when it comes to rape and murder. For instance, the Madhya Pradesh government has its own law. They have also amended the law to sort of provide for a quick day-to-day hearing so that the case doesn't just drag on and on and on. Now, West Bengal government could easily set up its own process in dealing with such situations. Nothing stops the West Bengal government from bringing in a special legal provision because, as I said, law and order is in the domain of the state government. So all that the chief minister is trying to do is divert attention from the state government to the central government. She's trying to sort of lob the ball into the central government's court.
Right.
Now, let me also remind you that she talks about 90 such incidents a day. Many of them are actually reported from West Bengal. West Bengal has a terrible, terrible record of maintaining law and order, especially when it comes to crimes against women. For a while, the West Bengal government instructed its police to not provide data to the National Crime Records Bureau because they didn't want that data to go out. So these are the explanations which should be asked from the state government. Between the night when this horrific crime was committed at RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital, there have been 3 similar incidents as reported by media. I mean, I have no access to special information, but media has reported 3 horrific incidents from West Bengal. So what has the state government done to tighten up the law and order situation between the commission of this crime and today?
Right. And even as the Supreme Court is seized of, the larger issue of whether Sandeep Ghosh was being shielded by the state government or not, they've questioned why he was reappointed after resigning from the post. But even while that hearing was on, now we are told that subsequent to the High Court orders there in West Bengal, now Sandeep Ghosh has been appointed as an OSD, whereas the state government had assured and the High Court had said that he should be sent on leave. Do you see this as some kind of special privilege once again being granted to Mr. Ghosh?
Yeah, well, from day one, the state government, or at least the political leadership of West Bengal, has been trying to protect the principal of RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital, namely Sanjeev Ghosh. And he has been they're trying to shield him from investigators and investigations. He was not routinely suspended the moment this crime came to light. He was allowed to continue. Then he was removed from his post on the High Court's instructions. And then he was reappointed at some other place. Again, he was removed from that post. And the High Court asked the state government to send him on long leave to bench him. Now, instead of doing that, he gets appointed as OSD in the Health Ministry of the government of West Bengal. Now, guess who is the Health Minister of West Bengal? The Health Minister of West Bengal also happens to be the Chief Minister of West Bengal. So it is now a game between the Chief Minister of West Bengal, who also happens to be the Health Minister of West Bengal, who also happens to be the Home Minister of West Bengal. So the ball is being kicked around between these 3 posts, and that is where we stand today.
Mr. Kanchu Gupta, I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us here at Times Now on these developments.
Madhav, can I just come in for 30 seconds?
Yeah, okay. Please go ahead.
We should seriously look at this whole thing of suddenly the political leadership of West Bengal is demanding both trial and punishment within 15 days. Now, that is not how the law operates in any law-abiding society or country in the world. Nowhere in the world which has a system of trial and appeal is a case decided within 15 days, unless you live in some dictatorship where, a kangaroo court like the ones which operate in West Bengal do the trial. So this is total bunk. You cannot have a trial and punishment executed within 15 days.
Well, that's a fair point, sir. That's a fair point because the CRPC allows investigating agencies to take about 60 days in some cases to file charge sheets as well.
No,
so
not
I think,
only that,
yeah.
supposing even if I were to complete my investigation, supposing I was able to file my charge sheet, but then the trial begins, and the trial, even on a day-to-day basis, cannot be done within 15 days.
Right.
That is an impossibility. Now, after the trial court comes up with its judgment or with its order, then the convict or the prosecutor both are allowed to appeal to a higher court, which means it then moves on to the High Court. And from the High Court, it will move on to the Supreme Court. Now, what Mamata Banerjee and her nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, are suggesting is that you short-circuit the legal system and you create a kangaroo court system where within 15 days you hold someone guilty or not guilty, and if found guilty, you shoot.
Is that a practical suggestion? Certainly, it's a very, very serious question. Mr. Gupta, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us and making those points. Let me quickly open this up and take it across to our other guests with us. Anila Singh, spokesperson of BJP, is with us. Rajputra Chanda is our political analyst, of course, leans towards the TMC. Mr. Chanda, very serious questions here that have come in from the Apex Court. For the second successive hearing this week, after the suo motu cognizance has been taken, the delay in the filing of the FIR, the unnatural death, questions about the soft handling or careful handling with kid gloves of Mr. Sandeep Ghosh. There are some very, very serious and scathing observations coming in from the Apex Court, which really raise serious questions of what the state government and the state police have been doing.
So we are no one to discuss about, or we are no one to say something against what the Apex Court is saying in this country. We are supposed to respect whatever the court is saying. But all of these questions that are being raised, I understand the agony behind these questions, and I understand the circumstances where these questions are being asked. But I need to see the justice being given to the family of this girl. This horrific incident. It has left a big scar on every one of us. So justice delayed is justice denied. So
how does protecting Sandeep Ghosh and giving him a fresh posting as an OSD in the health ministry help remove that scar, sir? Because on a day when the court is questioning you, questioning the state government about the handling of Mr. Sandeep Ghosh, now he's made an OSD.
I would like to answer this. First of all, whether the correct modus operandi by the state, whether the correct modus operandi was being followed by the state government or not, that the court will decide. And the court has given the authority to the Central Bureau of Investigation to look into this matter. And
sir, the court is questioning you already. I'm not sitting here in judgment, but the court is asking the question.
The Supreme Court has the power not only to question, the Supreme Court has the power to even convict.
Sir, can you please, please don't teach us what is the powers of the Supreme Court on national television, Mr. Chanda. We are very well acquainted. We have been watching Supreme Court much longer than perhaps you have. The question is whether there is any accountability, and what really does the state government have to defend this kind of position being taken despite the court's questions.
That is what I was,
let me bring in Anila Singh. 1 second, let me bring in Anila Singh. Anila Singh, we are also very pained. This incident has left a big scar, and they understand the pain and agony. Beyond that, there still appear to be very serious questions of the state government in West Bengal.
Absolutely. My ram to all, and I was just listening to a TMC supporter, and it is so obnoxious to hear from a youth who is so blatantly supporting the TMC government and the steps which had been taken by Ms. Banerjee, a chief minister. I will rather say that there are only 2 chief ministers in our nation who goes for dharna, pradarshan, protest against their own government. I don't know what sort of drama. This drama which is being portrayed in today's date by the Chief Minister of West Bengal, who is not only a woman, who is the Chief Minister of the state, who is the Home Minister of the state, who is the Health Minister of state, a person who was heading this medical college, who is very much responsible for all the wrong doings which were happening in the medical college. And when he was a principal, this poor girl, she was tortured, she was raped, she was murdered, and then he got the better posting, and now...
Rajputra Chandra, I want to ask you, before I leave, I don't know if you heard what Mr. Kanchan Gupta said a few moments ago, But Mamata Banerjee is asking the PM that trial should be conducted in 15 days. How will it be done, sir? Please tell me.
See, this suggestion that was made by Mamata Banerjee, I think she is emotional at this moment, and I'm not saying that she made an impractical suggestion, but I think she is trying to say that justice delayed is justice denied. When this horrific incident has, a horrific incident has happened, and we would like to see that the family is given the justice as soon as possible. So, in future, if something...
Sir, who does not want to see justice happen at the earliest? We all know that. But will the law of this land support it? And should a chief minister be a little more responsible in commentary? It's a question. I'm not drawing any conclusions, but it's a very serious question. And on such matters, when politics is played out, when positions are taken, extreme positions are also taken, the larger question is whether we all have to be a little responsible in our kind of commentary coming in. Rajputra Chandra, Anila Singh, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us this evening.